This is a 45-minute flow. This will be a power yoga class, and the focus of this class will be on the shoulders. So really releasing, doing some deep stretching through that space between the shoulder blades. So if you have tight shoulders, this will be an awesome class for you, but you'll still get a full body workout. So set up your area. I'm just lighting some sage right here, and I'm really smudging around the area around my heart center, around my shoulders and neck, and then I'm going over the mat. So if you have anything that you want to light, any candles, any crystals, anything to enhance your practice, go ahead and take some time to get yourself situated. I do have a playlist on Spotify, so if you're following along with the playlist on Spotify, you can go ahead and hit play right now. And then once you feel like your space is ready, that you're ready for your practice, then go ahead and make your way to the center of your mat. And in the center of the mat, you'll begin in a child's pose. With this child's pose, the purpose of this is to start focusing on your breath and your breathing. And I really want you to start bringing some awareness into the space between your shoulders. And start to notice if you're scrunching your shoulders up towards your ears. Notice if your neck or jaw are tight. And see if you can feel your shoulders broaden across your back. And as you breathe in, send that breath to where you feel the tightness. And then as you exhale, start to release that tension. And that's what you'll do over these next 45 minutes. Keep inhaling, breathing into that shoulder space. And then as you exhale, you release it and let it go. And we'll be doing some stretches to help enhance that release. So here in child's pose, sink your hips a little bit lower towards your heels. Press into all 10 fingertips and lift your elbows, lift your wrists up. Take a few wiggles side to side with your hips. Then flatten your palms, make your way up to all fours. Move through some cat-cow stretches. So as you inhale, you drop your belly and lift your chest. And as you exhale, really exaggerate it and tuck your chin in, round your shoulders, loosen up your shoulders here. Yeah, and then again, inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, fill up through your heart center. And then exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin. And then from here, reach your right fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then thread the needle. Take the right hand underneath your left shoulder. Extend the arm straight. You can keep the left hand where it is or walk it forward towards the front of your mat. And just feel that right shoulder get heavy here. Go ahead and come out of that. Take a cat-cow breath just to neutralize the spine. And then switch sides. So left fingertips stretch up, reaching underneath your right shoulder, and then resting onto your left shoulder as your right fingertips walk forward. So again, these first few postures, just bringing awareness into your body, noticing some patterns, some ways that you hold and store tension in your body, and the shoulders, there's such a common area for that. So go ahead and come back to all fours, tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back, go ahead into a downward facing dog. Feel your body in 2 straight lines right here. And continuing with your deep breathing. Smooth inhales, smooth exhales. And as you exhale, shoulders broaden across your back. Now step your feet a little bit wider than your hips. Reach your right arm across your body and hook it outside your left leg. So that can be your ankle, your calf, your thigh. And because the focus is on the shoulders here, obviously we're doing a twist, but I want you to start to bend into your right elbow and feel that nice, intense shoulder stretch. And the more you bend your elbow, the more you'll feel it. And then go ahead and switch sides. So left arm reaches across wherever you can grab. Again, the focus here, usually it's on the twist, but right now, think of it more as a shoulder stretch. Now go ahead and set your left hand down and pull forward to a high plank position. So everything flattens out right here. Yeah, you can step the feet a little bit more narrow so they're about hip width apart. Soften through your elbows, squeezing your core in tight. Go ahead and lower to your forearms, come to a forearm plank. And again, keeping everything flat. The spine is long, that includes the back of your neck, so your eye gaze is in front of your fingertips. Then slowly start to drop your hips down. And from here, press into your forearms. You can scoot around, make any adjustments you need to feel comfortable. That goes for any pose. But here, taking a baby cobra. So ease into it and just take a few breaths here. So you're starting to open the chest, which is of course connected to the shoulders. So that front area. Take a big inhale, then exhale, lower down. Take your hands out wider than your mat. Bending through your elbows, roll the shoulders down your back a few times, and then go ahead back to that same baby cobra position with wide elbows here. You can get a little bit deeper into that shoulder space. Go ahead and drop your right ear down. Look over your left shoulder. And then go ahead and switch sides. Drop your left shoulder down, look over top of your right shoulder. And then go ahead and take it back to center. Take a big inhale, lifting up. Yeah, roll the shoulders out a few times. Any tiny movements that you need to do to activate that release. And then go ahead and lower down. Make your way to a downward facing dog. You can press back through child's pose if you need to, or just straight back into downward facing dog. Once you're there, start to tiptoe your toes in between your hands. Inhale, lengthen to a flat spine, then forward fold, release. Ragdoll, feet go a little bit wider than your hips. Grab a hold, opposite elbow, opposite hand. Feel your head really, really heavy here. And start to sway side to side. The entire back side of your body's releasing right here. Wiggle out your jaw a few times. Then set your hands down, toe heel your feet back together. Inhale, lengthen to your flat spine. Exhale, forward fold, release. Press through your heels, rise all the way up to standing. Take a full body stretch and then interlace your hands. I can't see my hands here, but I'm interlacing everything except for the index finger, so I'm pointing and then stretching up and over to the right side. Now, as I do that, the left side of my body is opening up, especially through that rib cage area. And then I'm stretching up and over to the left side. So here's a front view of that. You can see you don't need to go very deep with this. So think length first, lifting up and then stretching over. And go ahead and take it to center, hands still interlaced, stretching up and then back. I'm thinking about sending my hips forward, my chest forward, and arching back. And then I forward fold, release with a big exhale. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Plant my hands down, step the feet back, high plank to low. Inhale to an upward facing dog. You can always modify that by taking a cobra. And then exhale to a downward facing dog. Lift your heels, bend your knees, step or you can float your feet in between your hands. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold, release. So sun salutation here, moving a little bit quicker now. Inhaling, reach high. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lengthen. Hands down, feet back. So what I mean by that is just connecting the moves. It's a little more fluid now with the sun salutation. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. You still want to take your time with it. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, step or float your feet. Halfway lift, forward fold, release. Press through your heels, reach through all 10 fingertips, stretch up as tall as you can, and then fold forward, release. Lengthen, halfway lift, hands down, feet go back, high to low plank. Upward facing dog, press through the tops of your feet, then tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Go ahead and do it again. Feet come in between your hands. Lengthen to your halfway lift, crown of your head pulling forward, and then crown of your head lowers down in that release. Rise all the way up. Inhale takes you high. Exhale takes you low. Inhale, lengthen, core squeezes in tight. Hands go down, feet go back. High to low plank. Upward facing dog. downward facing dog. Breathe. Notice your shoulders right here. See if you're starting to feel any difference than you did at the beginning of class. Lift your heels, bend your knees, step or float your feet. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. Reach all the way up, take a big inhale, and then fold forward, exhale, release. Lengthen to your halfway lift. Hands go down, step your feet back, high plank to low. Upward facing dog, heart pulls forward. Downward facing dog. Now from here, step your right foot in between your hands, keep your back heel lifted, and reach, stretch up through your right fingertips. Reach them up towards the ceiling. Yeah, you can stay or keep the back knee, you can keep the back knee lifted, or you can drop it down to your mat. And then from here, feel the right elbow get really heavy here and draw some circles with the right elbow. So as you do that, you get some circulation through the right shoulder blade, your right wing. Go whatever direction feels natural to you. You can even play around with going in both directions. Then after you take a few circles, reach up really high and then set your hands down. Now flatten your back foot. Square off your hips, coming into warrior one shape with your legs, and then crawl your right shoulder underneath your right thigh. As you crawl the right shoulder underneath your right thigh, you reach in, or you reach around and grab a hold of your ankle. So I'm showing you from a different angle here so you can really see what I mean. You go underneath and then you go around the right side of your ankle with the right hand, and then the left hand grabs the left side of your ankle. And after you do this, go to wherever you can, square off your hips again, and then reach all the way up, unravel the arms, reach up to warrior one shape. Full expression here, so you're pressing through both heels, reaching all 10 fingertips up high. Now interlace your hands at your tailbone, squeeze your shoulders, and lift your chest open, knuckles reaching down, heart reaching high. Stay for a few breaths. And as you feel ready, start to fold forward into a humble warrior. Now, if you can't get the hands interlaced, that's okay. You can just grab a towel, and that can go in between your hands. That's one way to modify it. If you do have the hands interlaced, try and see if you can press the palms together. Yeah, be fluid with this movement here. So you can move the hands forward and back. Now go ahead and rise up, release the grip. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, hands go down, foot goes back, high to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left side stepping into that crescent lunge. So left foot down, right toes tucked. Your right hand stays flat, left fingertips reach high. And then from here, bend your top elbow and draw some circles, big or small as you need to, with your left elbow. And then after you do a few circles, go ahead and take your left hand, reach it up towards the ceiling, and then set it inside your left foot. Flatten your right foot. You may need to pull it in slightly for this. And then keep the upper body low. Take the left shoulder underneath your left thigh and then wrap around your left ankle. With your left hand, then maybe your right hand clasps the ankle as well. Keep pulling your right hip forward and pressing your left hip back. And make sure you're not scrunching up through your neck and shoulders here. Go ahead and unravel. Press through both heels. Yeah, you can take your hands to your hips if you need to for alignment, then reach all 10 fingertips up in warrior one shape. Bend a little bit deeper into your left knee. Extend your back leg a little bit straighter. Interlace all 10 fingertips behind you or grab your towel. And then feel into that heart opener. Heart lifting up and forward. Stay here or fold forward into your humble warrior. Rinse out through the space between your shoulder blades. Good. Now from here, go ahead and come up. As you come up, release the grip, reach up towards the ceiling, full expression, warrior one. And then hands down, foot back. High to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Notice your shoulders. Feel what's happening in your body here. Lift your heels, bend your knees, step or float your feet. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Drop your hips low, reach your arms high, Utkatasana. Or seated chair pose. So think like you're sitting in a chair, the weight in your hips is back and down, then pull your elbows to goalpost arms. As you inhale, open up your elbows. As you exhale, close your forearms, squeeze them together. So inhale, open, send the elbows back, chest opens, breathe in. Then as you exhale, squeeze your forearms together around through your spine. Doing that a couple of times. And after your next one, reach your arms high overhead, forward fold, let that all go. Inhale, lengthen to a flat spine. Step or float into chaturanga. Upward facing dog, press through the tops of your feet. Downward facing dog. Right foot steps in between your hands, plant your heels. One breath here, warrior one. And then reach the arms behind you. As you exhale, forward fold, release. And then as you inhale, reach your arms overhead. So that's our flow right here. We're going to take this on the left side. Hands go down, step the foot back. High plank to low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. It's one breath, one move. Take your time with it. Left foot in between your hands. The inhale, reach up, warrior one. Exhale, hands interlace behind you. Inhale, lift your chest open. Exhale, humble warrior. Good, then inhale, warrior one, reach your arms overhead. Exhale takes you all the way down, high plank to a low plank. Inhale to your upward facing dog. And exhale to your downward facing dog. Pause, breathe. So that's the sequence, and we're gonna do it again. Remember, it's one breath, one move. Feel free to go slower or faster than my cues, listening to your body first, my voice second. So inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold, release. Utkatasana, one breath, hips low, arms high. Breathe it in, and then let that all go, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen. Chaturanga. Up dog. Down dog. Remember your breath. Inhale takes you high, exhale takes you low. So right foot, plant your heels, warrior one. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, hands interlace. Breathe in. Inhale, fill up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, warrior one, arms reach overhead. Exhale, hands down, feet back, high to low. And then your inhale takes you up to your upward facing dog. Empty out, downward facing dog, left side. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, interlace your hands. Inhale, fill up your chest with breath. Exhale, fold forward, humble warrior. Yeah, full exhale, then inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, high plank to low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Pause. Go ahead and lift your heels. Bend your knees, step or float your feet, landing softly. Lengthen halfway, forward fold. Utkatasana, inhale, reach high, then exhale, release. Lengthen halfway, hands down, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Same sequence, same flow. Right foot, warrior one. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, interlace your hands. Inhale, fill the chest up with breath. And then exhale, forward fold, release. Good. Inhale, reach all the way up. And then as you exhale, hands go down. Take your exhale all the way down from your high plank to your low plank. And then inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left side, warrior one. Reach high, inhale. Exhale as you lower the hands. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, forward fold, releasing all that air. And then inhale, breathe in new air, warrior one. Exhale, hands go down, foot goes back, high plank to a low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Good. Feel what's connected to your mat right here, your hands and your feet. And lift your hips up just a little bit higher. Keep stretching through the backside of your legs. And now from here, drop down to your forearms. So you're coming into dolphin pose. The lower half of your body stays exactly the same as downward facing dog. You're just on your forearms. And if you need more of a stretch, just tiptoe your toes a little bit closer towards your elbows. And then from here, it's real small. You can even skip this part, but as you inhale, look towards your fingertips. And then as you exhale, tuck your chin in towards your chest. And then again, inhale, look towards your fingertips. So just real slight movements through the neck. Be really, really careful with this. Exhale, tuck your chin. Do that a few times if it feels good. If it feels painful at all, stop. And you can continue with that. I'm going to kick up into a forearm stand. If you have the space and capability, go ahead for it. Otherwise, just stay in dolphin. And then make your way back to a downward facing dog. Once you're there, step the right foot in between your hands, release your back knee and back foot down to the floor. And then go ahead and do that same thing with the hands interlaced, or you can grab a towel and squeeze your shoulders blades together. Stay here, press into your back foot and lift your back knee up slightly, even if it's just an inch or two off of your mat. And keep pulling the knuckles down and lifting your chest high. Good. Then from here, go ahead and tuck your back toes. Take your hands to your hips. Come into a full expression of crescent with the hands interlaced behind your head. With the hands interlaced behind your head, you can drop your head so it gets real heavy here and it lands. Feel the palms. It lands into your hands. So feel the palms supporting your head. Your elbows stay wide. Chest and heart pulling forward. Good, then go ahead and transition from this into a warrior three shape. So you can keep the hands interlaced and come into warrior three. That's the example I'm showing right now. Or you can reach your arms overhead, or you can take the hands to heart center. So lots of different options, but you are looking for that T shape with your body. And then go ahead and take your hands to heart center if they're not there now, and open up into a balancing half moon. That means your left hip stacks over top of your right hip, left shoulder over top of your right shoulder. And because we are focusing on the shoulders, if it's in your practice, I'm going to encourage you to go ahead and reach for your left foot with your left hand. That's your top foot, top hand, and feel that left shoulder opening up. Now to help with balance, you can take the right hand to heart center. We're only going to be here once in this balancing half moon. And then land softly in warrior two. So in this warrior two, lift your shoulders up towards your ears. And as you exhale, drop your shoulders down. Do a few more shoulder rolls right here. As you inhale, shoulders lift up. Exhale, drop your shoulders down. Yeah, and after you do that a couple times, keep your shoulders down and then reach. Squeeze through your biceps and triceps. Eye gaze softens over top of your right fingertips. Now flip your palm reverse, stretching up and back. And then take your hands down. Right foot goes back to meet your left. High plank to a low plank. Oh, just kidding. High plank to a side plank. Right hand comes center, left hand reaches up. Drop down to your right knee for this, and then draw some circles with your left arm. So reaching, big circles here. Again, whichever way feels natural. We play around with both directions, or if it's feeling really good one way, you can stay there. If you get to a spot when you're doing these circles where you feel a really nice, intense stretch, and you feel an area that's extra tight, feel free to stay there and breathe. So really taking this time to explore. Feel some freedom through your shoulders. Now make your way to a high plank to your low plank, your upward facing dog, and then your downward facing dog. Left foot in between your hands, modified crescent with your back knee down, back foot is released, interlace your hands or grab a towel, reach your knuckles down as you pull your heart forward. Stay here, press into your foot and lift up your back knee. That'll build a lot of strength through your back leg. And then go ahead and make your way all the way up into crescent lunge. With those hands interlaced, head falls heavy into your palms, elbows are wide. It is helpful to interlace your hands opposite, so whichever thumb was in front before, you can switch and have the opposite thumb in front, just to even out the left and right side of your body. Not necessary though. Go ahead and interlace your hands behind you and float into Warrior 3. That's one option, or you can keep the arms overhead or hands to heart center. 3 different options there. But keep your back leg active. Keep pressing through your heel. Keep pulling your right hip so it's square next to your left hip. And after a few breaths in Warrior 3, open up to your balancing half moon left side. Again, I'm going to encourage you, if you have it in your practice, to go ahead and bend your top knee and catch a hold of your top foot. Left hand comes to heart center to a half prayer. Feel your foot connected to the mat, all 4 corners. Balance, and then bend into your standing leg. Land softly in Warrior 2. Reach your arms. Then inhale, shoulders come up towards your ears. Exhale, shoulders drop low. Inhale, shoulders lift. Exhale, release your shoulders. One more time. And then go ahead and stretch through your arms. Sink low through your hips. Eye gaze over top of your fingertips. Flip your palm. Inhale, reverse. And then flow through. High plank to low. Nope, high plank to side. Side plank. So drop your bottom knee. It's a modified side plank, so you can really press through your right heel, then draw some circles with that top arm. Yeah, going one direction and then go ahead and switching. Paying attention to what feels good, what's working for you, and never forcing anything. Now go ahead and make your way back to your high plank, and then to your low plank, and then to your upward facing dog, and then we'll all meet in downward facing dog. And start to tiptoe your toes so they come outside of your hands. So you're stepping your feet wide. Come into a Buddha squat. In this Buddha squat, we're going to do a shoulder release. So drop your right hand down and left arm reaches up. You're on a diagonal. I'm going to show you facing forward. And then from here, that top arm reaches behind you in a half bind. Now I'm going to face back so you get a different angle. So half bind, this may be enough, or you can do a full bind where you clasp the hands around your right thigh, the outside of your right thigh. And then you try to keep your chest lifted and open as much as possible. You can see this one's a little bit difficult for me. I can't really clasp my hands completely, but I can get my fingers to hook, and that's gonna give me the same benefits. And then go ahead and switch sides. So now my left arm goes down, my right arm reaches up. And again, if that's all you can do, then just keep stretching and reaching, and you'll still get a nice release through your shoulders. Otherwise, take the right arm to a half bind around your lower back, and the left arm connects behind your left thigh, and then you clasp whatever you can, whether it's your hands or your thumbs or your pinkies. And then go ahead and make your way back to Buddha squat. Stay here for a few breaths, and then press your hips up. Come to a forward fold, a deeper forward fold this time in a gorilla. And go ahead and step your feet onto your hands. So the bottoms of your feet connect with the bottoms of your hands, the palms of your hands. Yeah, and take a few breaths like that. And then go ahead and step your feet together. Take your hands to your hips. Come all the way up to standing. And then once you're all the way up to standing, we're going to work on some balancing here. It's balancing combined with hip releases. So first thing is take eagle. The weight is in your right foot. So with this eagle, take the left leg over and left arm under. You can, if you can't get the hands interlaced, then you can just take the hands to the shoulders. But again, connecting whatever you can. Ideally, everything's facing forward, your toes, your knees, your elbows, your shoulders, your eye gaze. Sink a little bit more into your standing leg. And then keeping the arms where they are, unravel your legs, step back into a warrior one shape. You still have eagle arms here. And in the warrior one shape, start to pull your forearms forward a little bit more, and then take your eye gaze up towards your fingertips. And maybe you take a slight arch back. Hopefully you're feeling a deep release through your shoulders. Now go ahead and open to warrior two shape with your legs. And still have eagle arms here. As you inhale, lift your elbows up slightly. Then as you exhale, drop your elbows down. And again, inhale, lift your elbows up. And then exhale, drop down. Do that one more time. And then release your arms out into warrior two. From here, interlace your hands behind you. If you can, press the palms together. So you're still in warrior two shape with your legs, with that right hip opening. And your knuckles are reaching down. And now when you're ready, release that grip and come into side angle. So left elbow to your left, right elbow to your right thigh, left arm reaching up. And with the shoulder release, you can come into half bind or full bind. Your shoulders should be pretty loose right now, so you can go to, like whatever is deepest in your practice right here. And then from here, step your left foot forward and come into bird of paradise. If this is not in your practice, then you still bring your left foot forward and you just come into a tree pose. So I'm going to demo that right here. So I'm taking a half bind, and then I'm stepping my left foot forward, and then I'm just pulling my right foot to my left inner thigh, and then I'm taking my hands into, I'm attempting to take my hands into reverse namaste, or just taking them to heart center. So playing around. And so wherever you are, birds of paradise or tree, just go ahead and release out of that stepping down. Shift the weight back into your right foot, dancer's pose. So grab your left foot with your left hand, right arm reaches forward. Focusing here on your left shoulder blade, plugging into your back. Right fingertips reaching forward, so you get a stretch through both shoulders. Just different sensations. Then go ahead and release out of that. Now, the weight goes into your left foot. And then from here, you're going to move into eagle on the opposite side. So now this time, the right leg goes over and the right arm comes under. Weight is in your left foot. Right leg over, right arm under. And keep everything facing forward. Sink a little bit deeper into your standing leg. Keep pulling your forearms forward. And now you'll keep the arms hooked where they are, but slowly start to unravel your legs and land in warrior one shape with your legs. Right hip forward, left hip back. Good, and feel a stretch through the backs of your shoulders. And if you need more, eye gaze up to the fingertips, maybe a slight arch back. And start to open up into warrior two shape. As you inhale, elbows come up slightly. Then as you exhale, drop your elbows down. And then again, inhale, elbows lift up just an inch or two. Then exhale, drop down. One more time like that. And then open up, reach your arms in warrior two shape, stretching your hands in opposite directions. And then interlace the hands at your tailbone, reach your knuckles down, reach your heart high. Still maintaining warrior two shape, left side for a few breaths. And then releasing into a side angle. Left elbow, left thigh, right arm, reaching up. And then start to work your way. Start with a half bind first. Keep rotating your chest up towards the ceiling. And if you have a full bind, go ahead and take your full bind, clasping your hands behind your thigh. Try as much as you can to keep pulling the crown of your head towards the front of your room. And then step your right foot up to meet your left. Shift the weight into your right foot. Work your way up into a bird of paradise. If you can, extend the left leg straight. Remember, never forcing anything, just exploring, seeing where your body can go and being okay with wherever that is. So for me, it's tree pose on the left side, reverse namaste. That always helps me to open up my shoulders. Few breaths, whether you're in tree or that birds of paradise. And then go ahead and release down. Switch the weight back over to your left foot and take dancer's pose. Right hand grabs your right foot, left arm reaches up, and then reach the left fingertips forward. Kick your right foot into your hand and feel the right shoulder blade plugged in, connected to your back. Set the foot down, take a big full body stretch. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lengthen. Hands down, chaturanga, stepping or floating. Upward facing dog to your downward facing dog. Again, this is your time to notice your breath, notice your shoulders. Go ahead and pull forward to a high plank position, strong shoulders. Bend your elbows, keep shifting forward, lowering down. And then go ahead and press back up. So it's really slow here. You're lowering down for a slow count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pressing back up. Lower slow. 2, 3, 4. Press up in 1. Good. Now from here, you're going to lower 1. Press up slow. 2, 3, 4. Again, lower down for a count of 1. Press up slow. 2, 3, 4. One more time. Lower in 1. Press up slow. 2, 3, 4. Good. So just building some strength through your shoulders. Go ahead, drop to your knees. Cross your ankles. Walk your hands a little bit wider so that the fingertips are at the edge of your mat or off the edge. And then lower down and press right back up. Elbows are wide now. So go ahead and take 10 of these modified push-ups on your own. Again, so just building up strength. A lot of times whenever we have tight shoulders, we don't have enough strength built up there. So keep that in mind as you do this. And after you get to 10, go ahead and lower all the way down. Rest your arms by your side. Drop your right ear onto your mat. I really like to close my eyes right here and feel into that nice subtle stretch happening through the shoulders and neck. Good. Now take your eye gaze forward. Interlace your hands at your tailbone or just reach your fingertips back. Lengthen and then lift up. So belly back bend here. The weight is on your belly. The knuckles are reaching towards your heels. The top of your head's pulling forward. The back of your neck is long. And then as you release, take your left ear to your mat. Again, if you want to close your eyes right here, maybe wiggle the hips around a few times. And then from here, do what you just did, or if you want to go a little bit deeper, coming into bow, so the tops of your feet press into the tops of your hands. And then again, weight still on the belly, lift up with the chest and start kicking your feet into your hands to deepen the stretch. If you want to go even further, then take your hands to your ankles, flex your feet, and press your shins to the wall behind you. Try to avoid flaring the knees out. Keep the knees in line with your hips. And then releasing down from that, reach the right arm out to the side, roll onto your right shoulder, and naturally that left leg will float up and go behind the right leg. And your left elbow is bent and you're pressing into your left fingertip. So rolling onto your right shoulder, that's what the focus is right here, is releasing through your right shoulder. And I could hold this one for a really, really long time because it's such a good release and I feel a lot of tension in my right shoulder blade. So really just breathe into whatever sensation you're feeling and see if you can utilize your exhales to release that tension that gets built up in there. If you feel like you need to stay longer in any of these poses, you do have the freedom to just hit pause on the video, or of course you can always rewind. That is the beauty of a home yoga practice. Well, we're gonna go ahead and switch sides in this video. So now left arm goes long, roll onto your left shoulder blade, and then the right foot comes behind your left leg. Really press into the right fingertips to enhance the stretch. Again, if you need to stay, then stay, but otherwise go ahead and come out of that. Come into a baby cobra. Few breaths in baby cobra, and then press yourself back into a child's pose where you started class. Notice any differences through your shoulders or through your body in general. Then from here, go ahead and press your elbows down. Take your hands to prayer. And as you bend your elbows, the thumbs connect to the base of your neck. So the bottom of your neck, yeah. And you should feel a nice stretch, kind of like in that armpit area, which is just hitting a different part of your shoulders. If that's feeling really good, stay there. Another version or variation of child's pose, you can take the knees and ankles together and drop or reach the fingertips down towards your heels. And you can even press into rabbit, where you press into the top of your head and you grip onto the back of your heels and you start to lift your hips so they come like towards over top of your knees. And that's just gonna stretch out the entire back. And that one feels really good too. So taking a variation of child's pose here, you can even just, how I am right now, everything is together, but my shoulders are just dropped down, hands are reaching down by my sides. But carefully making your way into a downward facing dog, getting towards the end of practice here, coming into a half pigeon. So releasing through the hips now. And this is your time just to take the focus off of the shoulders, let the shoulders go, square off your hips, and breathe into your right hip. So if we're super tight in one area, chances are that's not the only area that we're tight in. And shoulders and hips are the most common areas where we hold and store tension. So feel free to release on your exhales whatever tension you're feeling, whether that's mental, emotional, or physical. We're not here long, but if you want to press up to straight arms for a few breaths, go ahead and do so. And then as you feel ready, go ahead and switch half pigeon left side. Yeah, make your way to a downward facing dog first and then take your half pigeon. I like to do a few breaths in long arms before my forward fold, just feeling into those different sensations through the left hip. And then again, make sure that you are still keeping the shoulders soft and relaxed. As you come out of half pigeon on the left side, shift the weight onto your left hip and slide the right leg forward. Come into a double leg extension, not here long, just a few breaths. So both legs are long and just hinging forward. If you flex the feet, you'll feel a different stretch. That'll get really deep through the calves. And then go ahead and come up slightly. And then come all the way up and then cross the right leg. Bend the right knee and set the right foot across your left leg. Your left leg is long and come into a seated twist. So your left elbow hooks outside your right thigh, and then as you inhale, look up. Then as you exhale, twist deep and look over top of your right shoulder. Think about lengthening on your inhale and then twisting deeper on your exhale. So last chance to really rinse out and release right here. And then face forward, go ahead and switch sides. So right leg goes long, bend your left knee, left foot over top the opposite side of your right leg. Right elbow hooks to your left thigh. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, twist, look to where you can. And rinse out what you can. And go ahead and turn facing forward again, double leg extension just for a breath or two. And then from here, work your way into fish pose. So come to your forearms, drop your head back, keep your heart lifting up. Your heart is the highest part of your body right here. Your chest is lifted high and you're taking really nice deep full breaths. So we released a lot through this space right here, through your heart center. So really breathe in new air, new oxygen, send it to that openness that you're feeling, creating new habits, new patterns in your body, and then gently roll onto your backside. Pull your knees in towards your chest. From here, coming into an inversion, so you can take your feet over top of your hips or roll into shoulder stand. That's what I'm doing. If you're in shoulder stand, make sure you are putting weight onto your shoulders and not onto your head or your neck. Try to keep your eye gaze up towards your toes so you're not moving your neck around at all, looking side to side or anything like that. Everything is still in that area. Try to flatten from your shoulders to your toes. And feel the circulation shifting around your body. So your feet are over top of your heart right here. Lots of health benefits. So any physical ailments that your body's working through, this will help to heal the process, or to speed up the healing process. And then go ahead and take your toes over top of your head in plow. Otherwise, just stay in shoulder. If you're in plow and your toes connect to the floor behind you, then extend your legs a little bit straighter and release your hands down to the mat. And then start to bend your knees. This is for if you're in plow. Bend your knees next to your ears and use your core to support you and press your hands down. Feel every single vertebrae one at a time. Reconnect with your mat. And then everybody's going to end up here laying down. Pull your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big, tight squeeze. And then go ahead and release down into your Shavasana. Palms are open, eyes are closed, body is soft. Stay here in the Shavasana as long as you need to. Again, stay as long as you need to. I'm going to close this video now. Namaste.